Hello, my friends. Today I'm going to be showing you guys this 2-day back piece of a Japanese Hanya mask with a big-ass snake wrapped around it. Something like this actually fits the back extremely well because of the way the shape is masked. The way the mask is shaped is kind of like a V shape. So the chin area kind of goes down to a point in a sense. From like a distance away, you can tell it has like a V shape. So that actually fits the back really, really well with the way that it's set up, because as it goes up, it actually puts emphasis on the back to where the back muscles look larger, and it really, really did a number for his back, and I was actually really impressed on how it came out. So as you can see here, what we do to start this tattoo is we obviously stencil it, and then we freehand a little bit with Sharpies to maybe add some different background, composition and things like that. So the first thing I do is I use a 7-round liner, and I dip in solid Notorious Black by Electrum. I outline the entire tattoo, but only on the outside of the outlines. I don't do any specific details with the outliner. I don't do any specific shade with the outliner. I don't do nothing. I outline lightly so I don't lose my specific composition for that back piece. I don't want to lose anything that has a specific shape that I don't want to have to draw back on. All the shade values and everything, all the textures, that's all things that I need to develop with a mag. I use a 27 curved bug pin mag as well as a 45 curved bug pin mag. I use the 45 because it's fucking gigantic. It looks like a shovel. I use that for the background, like straight solid black in the background. That's why I love using so much of a source of solid black, because I slam it in there with a 45 and I take it pretty far out from the existing tattoo to where it gives a lot of depth and dimension and contrast. So I love using that for my background tones because it's so fucking big. It makes it really easy to tattoo. So for the inside tones, I like using the 27 curved bug pin mag because it's still pretty fucking huge. It's close to a 30 mag, but it's just small enough to get specific details, and back pieces are huge, so it's easier to get smaller details with a larger mag. That's why I love working with back pieces. As you can see here, I'm still outlining. Like I said, I like to primarily just do the outlines of the outside of the tattoo, not anything that I've lined on the inside of the tattoo. I like leaving those really faint purple from my Electrum stencil. It stays there the entire fucking tattoo. It doesn't leave. Electrum stencil primer is the best stencil solution there is to put on any tattoo prior to putting your stencil on. I mean, the fucking stencils stay, they stick, they come off real fucking sticky as you pull them bitches off, and they work perfect. As you can see, I'm still just working away with this outline. It's going to take quite a while to get it completely done, so I will jump back with you guys here in a second. All right, I'm back here. So as you guys can see here, I am dipping into the right cap usually, and that is my solid black. When you're doing black and gray, you're going to want to set up your caps if you're right-handed or left. So when I'm right-handed, I like to put my black all the way on my right, and then what I'll do is I'll go left from there. So if I got black on my right, then I'll do my darkest gray to the left of my black, and then to the left of the darkest gray, I'll do a lighter dark tone that's still considered like a dark gray. And then from there, I will go into sometimes an even lighter gray, depending on the skin complexion. But for this tattoo, I used a lot of dark grays and a lot of blacks. He has a darker toned skin, but it's still pretty light, so it just came out absolutely beautifully in the gray wash that I use by Electrum. Works very, very well, and it met the the exact tones that I wanted it to portray on his skin. And these are things that you always have to remember when you're tattooing. Make sure that whatever your client's skin complexion is, that you're going to meet the requirements for something that has the longevity to last on that person. If somebody's super pale and you're going in with super soft tone fucking black and gray, that might heal well after it loses 30%. But if the person has any type of darkness to them, then you're going to want to use a darker color black and gray, as well as the darkest black that you can use. As the same way when you're doing color tattoos. Any type of color realism or neo-traditional color, American traditional color, you're always going to want to use the primarily dark tones on darker complexions. So they show up good, vivid, and vibrant, and the people can actually see them from a distance away. If you use tones that don't match well, like yellows, pinks, shit like that, light blues, that's not going to show up very well. It's just going to look like shit. So you want to give the customer the best possible fucking tattoo you can, because they're trusting you. They're allowing you to put something on their body for the rest of their life. So this is a gigantic thing, and it's a privilege and an honor to be tattooing people. So you should take it fucking seriously. And don't be buying the bullshit Amazon machines and going home and tattooing your friends and your family unsanitary as fuck. It's just not the way to do it. So, everybody has a way to start, and I understand when people are coming from. They just want to try to do it and learn, and they'll start somewhere. But it's best to get an apprenticeship and learn the correct way. So, as you can see here, I have switched to a 27 curved bug pen Magnum. Now, I primarily use a 27 throughout the whole tattoo, as I said before. I like to switch to a 45 curved bug pen mag for the background and larger spaces. But anything with detail, like right now I'm working on the bottom lip of this Hanya mask. And as you can see, I'm just kind of pushing tones in softly. And what you can do when you're working with a step down, this is my darkest gray. I'm working with this tone, and I'm kind of pushing tones around in different directions, until I apply so much tone in the same area that it gradually builds up to a darker tone. So you can work lightly with first strokes and then go over a couple times, and your darkness will get darker as you apply more pressure and more layers. But you don't want to go over the skin too many times, because you will drastically start scarring the skin and going too far into the epidermis and into the dermis and causing damage to the skin. So you have to be extremely careful when working with mags and curved bug pen mags and any type of mags that you're using, because the corners of them can tear the skin up. So you got to be extra careful and make sure you figure out the application and how it needs to be done without just scratching into the skin. So as you can see, I'm still working. I like to do, a lot of times people that will shade will start out with little small circles and then expand your circles as you begin to fade. Now, I used to do that for some time. I would say probably 5 or 6 years. And then recently, for the past 3 years, I have actually pushed the black and gray. So I'll start from a line, and then I'll just push it directly out multiple times in a row, back and forth, and I'll lay down a really nice tone of gray. I'm working with a Hanya Mask, and it has some really old features to it. Pretty grimy. It kind of reminds me of bioorganic a bit. So as you can see, I'm working with a grimy texture of bioorganic bone material for the actual mask itself, because I really like to do bioorganic. And as you can see, if you was to zoom in on that point that I was working on, you can see that it has that texture. It's like a contrasted tone. It was like a spiral, kind of like a tree in a sense, is how you build bioorganic. This is going to take some time for me working right now, so I'm going to go ahead and take a break here, maybe take a drink of water, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, as you can see here, I'm jumping into the snake up top. I usually outline with a 7-round liner like we discussed earlier. So when I use a 27 and a 45 the whole time, as I get up to the top where that hasn't been outlined, I like to go over the top of the outline to make sure that's mapped in before I jump into anything else. So as you can see, I'm not doing all the significant details with the liner either. I'm just outlining the outside of certain things so I can make sure that I do not lose my stencil in any way. And as I said, I am using Electrum stencil solution and primer. It's the best product to use, and I use it every single day. Right here, I'm using a 27 mag and kind of mapping in these details around the nose, because I wanted them to be very dynamic and have a lot of contrast. I really like to play with contrast and boost those points of brightness. As you can see, there's little bits of bright skin tone bursting through the mask itself, and I really, really can appreciate that about this Japanese Hanya Mask back tattoo. This is my finished product, around 2 days, 13 hours. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Please subscribe to this channel. Please like, comment, any type of information that you have to put. Comment down below. Any products that you like, please. I love you guys so much. Thank you.